kind of and what they've done with their over the long run, and how they built one of the biggest drug companies in the world. These people really didn't like their quarter there, but one of the biggest drug companies in the world over. Let's see here. This charting. Okay, got. What am I not looking for here? I'm still sort of new to this trade view, or whatever it's called, trading view. Kind of want to see a long-term chart of Novo Nordisk. I see, maybe like this. Yeah, you can see how successful the company has been. That drop looks like a big drop, but when you start zooming out, you realize it's not very big at all. Yeah, so they built this company on insulin and GLP, and you can see this was $1 stock in the 90s on a split adjusted basis. Imagine buying something for 60 cents, 90 cents, and owning it. Trying to figure out how do we get a little closer here. $5, $3. This is, you could have got this in 2008 for $13 and have it now for $100. Pretty amazing. And that's in, this was a terrible recession, right? Look at this. It went from 14 on a split adjusted basis down to, say, 8 or 9. That was like the Great Recession. It shows you that like firm stocks, even pharma stocks aren't immune to recessions, but you look back and you look at this chart and you're like, wow, you could barely even notice this little decline here. I remember when this happened. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, what an amazing company, one of the most successful companies ever. I don't know if Revolution Medicines is going to become the next Novo Nordisk. It's a bit different. This is a really old company. Novo Nordisk has been around a really long time. So anyway, just something to think about. I usually use TradingView for crypto. This is not the chart I wanted. This is also not the chart I wanted. This is a little closer. So what was that? Earlier today? A little too short term. Yeah, we definitely kind of bottomed. Oh yeah, now I see. We're still in kind of this pretty not great trend. I'm not a chart person at all, but there's not many other ways to plot price on time. You can kind of get a visceral sense for it in your head, but I drew this line. I drew these lines, which mean nothing, but I just felt like it was even like a non-chart user to me, like me, sort of felt like there's this like kind of can't ignore this kind of downtrend, if you will. It doesn't seem that profound. It's only a few weeks, but it seems like constantly lower lows. So we'll see. I'm kind of bearish on crypto right now. This rally was interesting. I was long for this. But yeah, we could see all the lower lows, and then there's like some big rally now. Again, I'm not a chart person. I don't advocate looking at charts all day. I think it's a huge waste of time. But some people do. It's up to them. All right, so let's go back to these Q2 results. Got to look at the income statement a little bit now. I think I'm the one person on the planet that pays for Adobe Acrobat. Right, okay, we got to fill out the rest of the income statement, so the rest of the sales section. But let's see. All right, so Victoza, they're sort of moving people from Victoza to Ozempic, but that's been going on for many, many years. And even Ribelsis picked up faster than I thought. So I did the law of large number of things again, and Ribelsis is beat that as well. Ribelsis is I think the oral form of Ozempic. How'd Wegovy do? Wegovy is kind of a shit show right now because of the shortage, but they were capacity constrained, so that's what happened there. I think people were pretty upset about that. It's going to be a while before Wegovy picks up as well. Saxenda is selling rather well as well, so let me see if I get that down here. It's not that important of a product for them, but it's kind of like their obesity version of Ozempic. And they're putting a lot of effort into making diabetes a disease state that physicians and others recognize, which has been quite a challenge, to be frank. Okay, so it's not selling that well, growth-wise. I mean, we could see if growth, again, we can't assume anything about growth. These products, these are, I don't know, they're sort of unusual products. Okay, we can fill out the insulin side real quick. The insulin side, I think you can forecast kind of more naturally because it's not a changing market. But the idea that there are millions of type 2 diabetics that could do better on GLP-1 than they could do on insulin or they could do on orals is really interesting. Right, and that all started with a company called Amylin many years ago. Amylin's Byetta is now property of AstraZeneca, and the GLP wars were. Where were you during the meme wars of 2008? The GLP wars were fought over the last 20 years, and Novo's kind of won them. But Eli Lilly's biggest selling product is a GLP, so there's sort of this long-term kind of movement towards GLPs. But on the insulin side, there's basically no innovation. There's no opportunity. It's sort of just very whatever. Which makes sense. And in fact, I would think insulin's going to start to. I started this whole thing by being surprised at how much it declined. Maybe we should keep that in mind. You're talking about a big decline here in insulins. What they have here, total insulin down 13% at constant exchange rates. It's a pretty freaking big decline. And it was stable, which is even more interesting. So now you're really seeing GLP eat insulin. All right. Anyway, Novo 7, their hemophilia drug. That's probably going to go away too. Gene therapy is the problem, but they also have a gene therapy for hemophilia, so it's possible they could work out. But all right, what else? Rare endocrine, rare disease. All right, so there we go, 41,265. So revenue growth, 25% for a $200 billion company. I mean, that's just blistering revenue growth, right? This is an old model from many years ago, so I have to try to kill this whole competition thing. Yeah, so 1.8 trillion. Kron is 300 billion market value. Amazing. I don't know what the latest stock price is actually in Kron. Let's take a look. Copenhagen stock price 771. Yeah, people didn't like the earnings today. The market didn't like the earnings today, but the stock had been on such fire that any little disappointment will do that in the short term. Let's see. Probably want to look at a balance sheet here as well. Certainly want to look at the income statement, so let's do that. There's not much funny business in Novo Nordisk's income statement too, which is nice. Not a lot of charges and one-time thises and that's. Really simple company. Sell the crap out of insulin and GLPs. It's basically what they do. Clean financials. All right. Just going to make a net financial expense here. I'm going to try to refactor this model a little bit. Okay. I think this company single-handedly supports the entire country of Denmark. Okay, great. Now let's see. Shares outstanding here somewhere, 2276.1. I don't know, looks like they're doing buybacks. Okay. Gross margin's 85%. Those GLPs are really high margin. They're just going to get a higher margin. You can make like an adaptive gross margin filter. I'd also like to see if GLPs they're making a recombinant or solid state synthesis. So that's kind of important. Let's see. Selling and distributions. Looks like it's growing in line with sales. What percentage is that? No, it's quite a bit faster. 2 billion over 8 billion is. Kind of investing in sales is a little unusual. R&D is usually whatever for pharmaceutical companies. It's kind of irrelevant how much they spend on R&D. It's not even a cost. It's kind of a capitalized. It should be capitalized. We've got tax rate as well. I'm going to look at tax rates down here. Denmark doesn't give them much of a break. They pay their fair share. Bernie Sanders would be proud. 20% tax rate. It should be 50%. What are they doing? Bernie Sanders, vote for me. I'm 90 years old, but you should still vote for me. Alright. So, let's see. I'm just going to call this G&A. Call this other. %100 taxes. Why not? These Wall Street scumbags charge them 100%. Alright, so I have to refactor kind of like these three lines, and then I'm in good shape. Turn them from a like Danish style company to American, but at the end of the day, income statements are universal language. So interesting how they went on this like growth spurt. I had to learn the story of the company a little bit better. Not quite ready to do any forecasting. Let's take a look at NumPy, just because I've been meaning to do so for a while.